Thank you. We're back. We're back. We're back. Okay, welcome to Holistic Lifestyles. I am Elka Netaka, also known as Master Ka, and we're here again for some great information on wholeness, wellness, everything health. We're going to be speaking to Miss Chantel Selman this evening. She is a botanical functional
Functional.
practitioner. And it's just that middle bit got me. I was like, what? And we're going to be speaking about mycology and cannabis this evening. Welcome, Chantel. Thank you for joining me this evening. I'm going to have to suffer through a bit. My fan, I think that was also given a bit of issues, so I had to turn the fan off. So if you guys see me sweating, please bear me. I'm doing this for all of you. All right, so over to you, Chantel. Thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what's on the table today about mycology and cannabis. Peace, love, and strength.
So I was telling you earlier that I have a clinic that I do iridology, herbal medicine, and raw food in, and it's been running for about 25 years. And I'm really into mycology, or learning more about mushrooms. And it was great for me to find that there's some wonderful mushrooms that grow here in the Caribbean, especially reishi, which I've focused in on.
Yeah.
And on the things we're going to be talking about today for sure. And we're going to do a wild drink for you as well. Something
Awesome.
that's very common around us. And more people should try this drink because it is super nutrients, man.
Sounds great.
For sure.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So what is mycology? What does that word mean? What is it?
Okay, so that's the study of fungi or fungi, okay, the singular. But they're split into kind of three different categories, meaning you have the medicinal ones, which reishi would fall into that category, and this one is one that grows here. And then
Nice.
you have the, like butter mushrooms or crimini, which are the culinary mushrooms, and then there are hallucinogenic ones, which are illegal. So they have three categories of them, but they're entheogens.
Yeah.
That last one is in that category. But these are the ones that we focus on, which is the medicinal ones.
Yeah.
And this comes, chi is one, chaga, turkey tail. There are a lot of them.
Right.
Lion's mane. There are quite a few.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's definitely some food for thought. What kind of healing do these mushrooms do? Are there any specific diseases that you would prescribe such for?
Okay, so reishi mushroom, which is the one I want to focus on today, is a mushroom where it's immune modulating, meaning that if your immune system is in a low state, it helps to regulate it up or boost the immune system. Or if it's in a high state, it's revving too high, you're in an having some autoimmune condition. This is also something that would be extremely helpful in bringing it down. And it really is tonifying to the body, but you need to look at it more as support to the system rather than it being the end all and be all. It helps to support the system to get where it needs to be. And it is really helpful for the immune system, but mostly herbalists, especially China, Japan, they're using it for stress. So most of the books, the ancient books, this was one of those stress and spiritual herbs that are mushrooms that was used. The trick is to get all the nutrients out of it. That's a little more tricky because it's quite hard. Kind of like it has a shell like a crab shell. So it has in chitins, it has in polycarbons. So this is something that you would have to really boil for a couple of hours to get the nutrients out of it. And that is only one aspect because they're water soluble toxins or water soluble medicines, and they're alcohol based medicines. So you really should the best way to get all of it is what they call a dual extraction, where you're doing both things and then you put them back together into one liquid.
Nice. I see. And where would you find these mushrooms? Where are they normally, where would you find them?
These type of mushrooms tend to grow on hardwood, but it's dying wood, so something that has fallen in the forest, and this helps to. This is what is called the fruiting body. So this is what comes out after the is consumed back into the earth. So it gives off a mushroom, and they usually this one has been around for a while, so this has darkened, but it can be a light reddish color to purple I've even seen in Dominica.
I see. Awesome. Are there any side effects from using mushrooms? Can you overdose on them?
Well, with all the trouble you have to go through to make it, people tend to really cherish when they have some, because they tend to do slices for you to use in smaller doses. So in most cases, no, unless you sit down and drink a lot of the tea one time, no, the answer would be no. And it's very tonifying to the system. It's not something that has side effects like anything traumatic. It's very good for your heart system. It is very good for anything cardiovascular as well. It definitely works on stress best, but it does help in other areas. So most people use it as a support to other herbs. So for example, I have a line of immunotonics that I made for what we're going through now. And this is the base of the tonic. So I have a booster, a tonic, and a TLC, a long-term care product. And all three of those tinctures are based from this. So this is a really good work to build on, not as something that would be harsh. It has a very subtle flavor as well.
Right. Okay. You also mentioned about the spiritual aspect of the mushrooms. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, in most of the ancient books, that is written about first. So they've actually talk about this helping you with because it's very good for your stress and calms you down. It's very good to combine with meditation to really soothe your spirit. And so this mushroom has been used as a spiritual, don't want to say a guide, but kind of in that way. So they've combined it in most Eastern cultures as a spiritual mushroom that really helps with your meditation. But it helps all of the treasures in your body from a Chinese standpoint. So it helps with the brain, the qi running flowing through your body, as well as you're grounding yourself and your kidneys as well. And it's funny because it kind of looks like it. This looks like a kidney when it's turned this way. It looks like the heart when it's turned this way. And then it also helps that area.
That's awesome. Are there? I know I've seen in my journeys early on the mornings. It's not off topic, but I've seen some little mushrooms. There's some very small ones coming out the grass, and it looks similar to a flower. I don't know if you're aware of the mushrooms I'm saying, but what I'm trying to get at is, are there mushrooms around us that we can use in our meals that are edible?
Mushrooms are something that you really need to know and be able to the correct mushroom before you get into it. A lot of mushrooms have is almost like a shadow mushroom that they look similar but they can be poisonous. So you need to know what mushrooms are out there before you really get into utilizing them, just picking them randomly. But mushrooms, once you know that information and you have your guidebooks and you've learned over the years, or you have somebody to learn from, then yes, there are lots of mushrooms out there. And there are lots of mushroom hunters that really go around and collect different mushrooms and then they utilize them during the, because they kind of have a season. They utilize them during the year for different things, whether it's
Yeah.
culinary or
Okay. Yes.
in
Awesome.
here.
Yeah. This is moving quickly. This information is coming really nicely. Let's just go on to the cannabis for a bit. Maybe come back to the mushroom if there's any further information that we missed. With reference to cannabis, we know there's now a movement for medical cannabis. What are your thoughts on that in terms of medicinal cannabis compared or versus organically grown cannabis? Are there differences, benefits? What is the case there?
Okay, so like organically grown, meaning that no pesticides have been used in any way, shape, or form to grow it. That is an important aspect of the growing process for sure.
Hmm.
In terms of the plant itself and all of its benefits, we have an endocannabinoid system within our body. So we have the receptor sites to work with cannabis, and all we need to do is be able to utilize it freely as a medicine, so it can help people from such a wide range of things, opening up your appetite, getting better rest, introducing you to more energy if you need that. But it depends. I mean, if you are sick and you have, say, cancer or something, you want to rest more, but you want to be able to still eat properly. You want to gain weight instead of losing weight. You have to react to some of the medicines you're taking. The cannabidiol system within your body will regulate those things, because you have a natural receptor or receptors throughout your entire body from head to toe. It's part of your innate system. So it's not something that was taught in school, but it's getting more research done on it now. I had told you about looking into those girls that are in the forefront, are pioneers of it, which are not docs, and they are really good at explaining the system and how it is so important in terms of helping people with a variety of problems, from depression. The list is long.
Right. And we know that it is used in multiple ways. Is there any particular way that is best to consume for the best benefits, or is it dependent on the individual? What is the science behind that? What are your thoughts behind that? What is the nature behind that?
Well, there's so much technology coming out now where they're using the substance or preparing it in different ways, but the traditional ways of using it in an oil form or in a smoke form is usually what people do. But I think the oil form is a form that would be more receptive to a lot of people, because the oil form, you can take it and make it into chocolates. You can make it into any oil-based desserts, and make it easier for people to utilize it, especially if they're not feeling well. And I think it should be used in a food form, as just another herb that gets put into a dish. You're making a really nice pasta dish, it should be part of that dish. You're stuffing mushrooms, you can put it in that dish. You know what I mean? It shouldn't have to be this extra thing. It should be just one of those ingredients that, you're doing a really nice pesto and it's added to that. Things like that. Or at least I like that. Yeah, utilizing it that way.
Okay. I know one of the main concerns for persons who may not want to use these particular things are because of the induce of a high, in particular cannabis. Can people partake in using the plant without having the experience of becoming high?
Well, I think that is what everybody's working on. Whether they started 5-10 years ago or now, there are a lot of cannabidiols within the plant. But the two that are most famous are the THC and the CBD. So the THC is the one that gives you that euphoric high, or that legendary one. So if you reduce the THC and increase the CBD, it becomes a much more medicinal plant. So they have been tinkering with the strains so that they can get different. There's a Charlotte Web one which became famous because of seizures and so on, where the CBD is very low, and it really helped with her seizures, and it's gone on to help so many other children or adults with seizures. So they're noticing that different cannabinoids can help in different ways. So the technology is so much better now, where they can actually grow the plant to suit the particular problem you're having.
Awesome.
So I hope they're going to do that here too.
Yeah, yeah, that's great work. Just got a flashback to the mushrooms, because we were speaking about the ways of consuming the cannabis. What ways are they for the consumption of other ways, apart from the one you were mentioning before? We know about, or we didn't say specifically, but there's also psilocybin, which is also a healing mushroom, also a spiritual plant as well. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Psilocybin is one that is kind of probably the one that you see growing in the grass, and that one has more of a psychedelic property, where you're talking about now. It does have medicinal properties, but most people use it to open up their mind to, and it usually has a very good euphoric pull to it, in terms of you getting and these things are not addictive. That's the first thing I should say. But this is something that is more opening up your mind, getting you outside the traditional box, so you can move forward with whatever you're thinking about or want to create. And it gives you that capacity to see and feel those things in a very different light.
It's awesome. That's great news. I feel like we need to speak about the eyes, the iridology. There was a question that came in, and the question was, if you're working with a client and you're guiding them accordingly, you give them certain tools to use, and they're saying they're using these treatments, they come back to you. Can you tell if they've done what they're supposed to do? And if they aren't doing what they're supposed to do, what is your protocol? What would you normally do with a client as such?
Okay, so iridology is one of those things where you can actually see changes within the eye over time, to see, especially if people have irritations, but there's something called healing lines. So the iris is made up, which is the color portion of your eye, is made up of almost like strands. So when the area heals in the body, the strands actually move and change. So you do see shifts in the eyes once the healing has occurred. So it also depends on how much time has passed, what you're trying to heal, because some things are in an acute phase and some things are chronic. So it depends on what's going on with the person. And you also have to look at their environment. This is why I have intake form, to find out as much as you can about the person. It's very hard to just be very specific about how their system is working and not know what stresses they're under, what their work life is, their home life is like, and all these things contribute to the healing of that person. So all those things are extremely important, not just because sometimes people can't do the program because at home everybody else is eating meat and they have to cook for them, and it becomes two pots, and so you have to find different ways to really help them. And sometimes it's all about not knowing what to eat when you try to change their diet. They're so accustomed to just one way. So when they come and they tell you, you've taken out all these things, but I don't know what to eat. This is where I get in and try to do workshops to give people or guide people on looking at food very differently, because
Yeah.
they're not realizing simple things like just doing a green drink. You're getting your proteins, you're getting your calcium, you're getting your antioxidants. There's so much wonderful things you get from the plant kingdom. That's not necessary to keep going to the meat kingdom that it's hurting you.
Yeah.
You know.
So you are of the opinion that the consumption of meat products and so on is harmful to the body, to the human vessel?
All right. So
What are your thoughts?
so we're fish in that category. I would say that the overconsumption.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a problem than the actual consumption. Because
Okay.
you can't be realistic and think that everybody's going to be vegan or vegetarian where they're just eating eggs and cheese. So it's the amount, I think, that is the problem, not that we're eating it. I mean, it will cut down substantially on everything, including the environmental problems, but we
Yeah.
need to be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So having nuggets for breakfast, and then having a chicken sandwich for lunch, and then having chicken with macaroni pie when you get home is too much chicken. Right?
Mindful eating.
So it just needs to, I think we just need to back down a little bit. Our grandparents did not eat like that. They had tea in the morning, they had their main meal in the middle of the day, and then something light in the evening. So if we could get back to something closer to that, a lot of people are into smoothies now, so I kind of focus on that a little bit, because that's a way for you to get a lot of foods in without having to do a lot of digestion.
Yes.
So I like the idea, and that helps eliminate certain meals, so you're not feeling hungry, so you don't go and overeat on these other things, especially when people already can see from the eye reading that their cholesterol is high, or their sinuses are really congested. So getting them to stay away from the bread or the cheese, you have to find something else to put in its place so they're not craving these things.
Yes. And tell us a bit about the raw food aspect as well. I know there are not many people who are au fait with raw food. Many people who only know about cooking their meals. Tell us a bit about the processes behind raw foods and what the benefits are. Hey guys, we got stuck.
Plant-based food. We're talking about whole food, but we're talking about live food. This is the key ingredient to the whole concept of raw food. It's fresh, it's alive, and it's giving you the enzymes, the nutrients, and the minerals in its package. Because when you cook it, a lot of things are lost. So you want to prepare some of your food in a live fashion. So we've grown up with one thing that was alive, and that was a salad. Pretty much everything else on the plate was cooked.
Yes.
So now you have the opportunity to increase the amount of live food. So they've got technology out now where you can get a zucchini and you spiral it and you get pasta. So the pasta on its own doesn't really have any taste. Neither does the zucchini. So you put them on the plate and then you flavor it. So whether you use pesto or fresh tomato paste that you make, you can add some tomatoes, you can add basil, Italian seasoning, and really spice it up. And now you got yourself a nice dish. Oh, you can actually add mushrooms to that too. But you got a nice dish that you can really now eat and feel full and satisfied with. And you can do that with, there's so many things now. When I started out with raw food, I find it was very much simpler. But now, I mean, the sky's the limit. There's cheesecakes, there's full-on cakes, there is chocolates, there is so many things have come to the surface. Kombucha has taken off. The it's so endless. You can do the cereals, the nut milks. There's so many ways for you to get those nutrients in a live form now, which give you 100% of the benefits. It is wild. It's lovely.
Yeah, I hear that. In terms, we're living a time right now. We're hearing about coronavirus and so on and so forth, the immunity of a person, you're speaking about the raw food element. Is that something that can keep your immunity strong? Is that something you recommend, more raw? What is the percentage? Do you have a percentage?
I don't really have a percentage. You just want to get people to use more raw food and see the benefits of it. And a lot of times, it doesn't even need equipment. I mean, yes, I just talked about the pasta like that, but just jazzing up your salad and getting that green drink in alone are two basic things that you're getting more live food in your diet. So
Yes.
that's a good start. In terms of your immune system, it is the most important thing. Vaccinated or not vaccinated really does not change the dynamic unless your immune system can fight. And because either way, you can still get the virus and you can still pass it on. So the most important thing is your immune system. So you can, a variety of things, getting in your fresh fruits and vegetables, your nuts, your seeds, your sprouts, getting in any seaweed that you can get in, and then the herbals, of course. And obviously, I think that live, fresh, whole food, because I find that what a lot of people are doing now is kind of, getting in the powders a lot, and they're ignoring the immense value of fresh living food, and they're skipping that just because it's easier or more convenient. But that does not help the immune system. You really, really need the food to be fresh and alive so you can get the maximum benefit. Nothing beats that. Nothing.
Rawsome. I know that's one of your things. Rawsome. Rawsome. I think that brings us really nicely into our surprise presentation. And let's give us some raw food then. Let's give us some examples. Show us what we can do with what is around us. I'll leave it up to you. Guys, just hold on.
So this one is kind of interesting. I didn't bring the pad in, but I did bring in the berry, and just hoping that most of you can recognize this at least. And this is a scrunching needle berry. They call it Nepal.
Right, the cactus, right?
Yes. So it has a flat pad, and this berry grows on that pad.
Yes.
And most people just pass it by, and a lot of that has to do with it has these little funny thorns on it that are dangerous. This is why I have it holding like this. But I went and picked something, and these things are awesome in terms of nutrient density, really high antioxidant, very good for your hair, nails, bones, and teeth. So this is something that you should definitely be utilizing. And for years now, when this comes into season, we make it into a drink. And most people might be a little shocked by that, but when you blend this, it disintegrates the little needle-like nippers on it. So voila, they're gone.
Yeah.
And you can blend it with coconut water, you can blend it with cane juice, you can blend it with a combination. But when you want to really make it taste good, cane juice would be the way to go.
Cane juice?
Yeah. Like freshly squeezed cane juice. So we're going to do it in a Vitamix.
Okay.
So we're going to put about 6 in here. Some of them are really huge. This one is awesome. Look at this one.
Okay, so I can't see your container. We can only see your upper half, but you know what you're doing. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And we're going to put about in here. Most people know that the Vitamix has a line, so you put the cane juice up to that line.
Yeah.
And once you get that done, then you just blend it, and you have a wonderful mix that you can now you can use it as a base for something else, or you can just drink it like that. So
cane juice and the fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
Give me a minute.
All right.
I'm just gonna blend it a little bit.
Yeah.
You can strain it if you want because it does have seeds in it. But look at the color. The color
Wow.
is
Wow.
amazing.
Looks
Look
powerful.
at
Powerful.
that is amazing. So you
Nice.
got fresh crunchy needleberry juice, that high antioxidants. I can take this down and add this to anything else if I wanted to really make it into an elixir.
Yes.
On its own is antioxidant rich. This is amazing.
That's awesome. I'm glad you told me about blending the whole thing because I actually had some experiences with the fruit themselves, and I found myself full of picklers and I couldn't get them out of my hands. The berry is very sweet. I like it, but it was a challenge to get it. I tried to peel off the skin and so on, but thank you for that tip.
The thing is that this is the wild version that grows here.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause it's a commercialized version overseas. So
Right.
this wild version for now, you talk about organic.
Yep.
Wild
Yep.
goes beyond. Wild goes way beyond organic. You're talking next level now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wild
I've had them. Yeah.
is definitely, yeah.
Awesome. And what about the actual pallets of the plant? Do you consume those as well? The green
Yes,
parts of
those
it?
those can be eaten. So you can take those and strip them, like in terms of cutting it into nice little strips. If you want to massage them down with some salt and then wash them off. I tend to like them not cooked, but you could warm them, put like warm water to it, and they kind of taste like asparagus, I guess. It
Right.
does have a taste, but yes, they're edible. And in the herbal world now, if you have a burn, a cut, um, yeah, those parts can be cut in half and put on
Right.
sprained cuts, and they are very healing. They're
Mm.
very healing. The inside has that mucilaginous texture, just like aloe vera. So think of the things that you would use aloe for, and you can use as pads too. But obviously, traditionally here, people have used it to wash their hair, and that has set off a whole chain of events in terms of scalp conditions and stuff like that. It's very good for those kind of things.
Yeah, it's awesome. And loads of people are unfamiliar. I mean, I've seen them a lot. It's only in this recent time that I was made aware that you could eat them and make drink with them and stuff. And I think it's important we definitely are made aware of these foods that are around us. That's awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so
Definitely.
much. So much. We put a lot in that time. I'm not sure how long we have gone, but feel free if there's anything you think that I did not touch on and it's dearing in your mind, please get it out. Is there anything that we missed?
I don't think so in terms of this segment and getting the ratio across. This is so important, and I find it very amazing that this grows in the Caribbean.
Yes.
Nobody really talks about the fact that we can find it here in the Caribbean. Everybody looks at when it comes to a lot of these medicinal mushrooms, they think they all are grown in North America or in northern territories. So it is wonderful to see that this was found here.
Yes.
And I have actually had quite a few of them over the years where the colors are just spectacular. But to see that this is here now at a time where we need it the most, that is so important because the support of your immune system, your cardiovascular system, people are talking about blood clots and all these things. These are the type of things that need to be used on a regular basis, along with what you eat. The two things support each other or combine very well together. So having a crock pot and boiling your reishi mushroom, along with other things like dandelion or green tea or, well, I like to put in things from around the home like lemongrass and so on. You want to use your vibration from the earth to get the nutrients you need. So to me, those things are really important. So use the plants around you, whether in culinary or herbal, they all complement each other. And like you can take a tea, a reishi, and then for those coffee drinkers out there, you can use the tea as the base for your coffee instead of water.
Right.
So now you're stepping up the Gynoderma lucida to a whole other level.
Wow.
This can be a base for elixir. That whatever you're going to put water in, instead put tea. And if you can use this tea, so if you're building a drink, you can use this tea as a base. So now you're getting good support every time you do it.
Yes. So Mother Nature is sending out the medicine for us for use. We just need to know where to go. That's that. Yeah, she's taking care of us.
For sure. For sure.
This is wonderful. This has been great. This has been really good. I'm thankful for you sharing your time, your energy, your knowledge. This has been an important topic. I think we need to know more about our environment. And I thank you again for being here and sharing. Let's do this again sometime in the near future. As always, peace, love, and strength. Thank you, Chantel. Thank you. Namaste. Yes, sir. All right, guys.
Yeah.
See you again next week for more guests. Peace, love, and strength. Nihas. One love.